So I made a poll in my community tab asking you all what video idea you guys wanted. And apparently, you guys care more about me being stuck in the movable state more than you care about me talking about scooters. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Anyways, Oklahoma, the place where I got trapped and almost went to court due to. Here, let me explain. So back in 2018, my family and I were planning to go to visit some friends in Oklahoma and stay over for the weekend. Also, this is the same family from Oklahoma that we visited in my Ouchies video. So we were packing everything up to go on over to Oklahoma on a road trip. My dad had checked all the motors and tires and all the fancy car stuff a week in advance and didn't find any problems, so we thought we were all good to go. It was maybe like 12 or 10 when we left Kansas. It was a 4-hour ride till we got to Oklahoma, so we had a couple of stops on the way there. One of the stops was called Little Chris. That was the first time I've ever been to Little Chris. We only had a cheeseburger each, and I gotta say, it was actually not bad. When we got back on the road, I just stared out the window for most of the ride. Eventually, we were like 30 or 50 minutes away from Tulsa, Oklahoma. And we started having some weird sounds coming from the engine. I'm sure that's normal. So we stopped at a gas station to see what happened. My dad spent hours at that gas station just trying to figure out what was wrong with the car. We were stuck in the gas station for at least 4 hours. While my dad was trying to figure out what was wrong with the car, my mother was trying to call people to help us out.
But since we were out of state, there weren't many people we could call. We couldn't call the people we were staying with because they lived 30 or 50 minutes away, and it was a long ride for them at night. So my mother eventually found someone who could pick us up. So my mother calls someone, and the family shows up. The father started helping my dad with the car problems, and my mom started talking with the other mother. Meanwhile, me and my sister were just playing with our kids. Eventually, my mother tells me and my sister to go in the family's car. And so me, my sister, and my mother all go in the family's car while my dad stays behind to call a mechanic. So we go on over to eat tacos because we hadn't had anything to eat after the Little Chris cheeseburger. So after we eat our tacos, we head on over to their house because for some reason we didn't get a hotel. Who knows why? I don't know. Day 1. We had slept at their place and I woke up hungry. They were already making breakfast, but I didn't like the food because I'm a picky eater, which I sort of made a video on. So I didn't eat anything that morning. Actually, I don't remember if I did eat anything that whole day. When my dad woke up, he headed to the mechanic to see what happened. Apparently there was something wrong with the transmission. The mechanic said it would take a week to repair, so we were stuck in Oklahoma for a week. Day 2. I woke up and was extremely hungry now because I didn't eat anything. So my dad goes to the local store and just buys some food there. So for breakfast that day I just had cereal. So nothing really special happened. But then we found out that family had a subscription to Netflix.
Woo!
So for the rest of the day we just watched Netflix. For the rest of the day, honestly. We didn't do much. Day 3. I had some mac and cheese for breakfast. Because we didn't all want to die of boredom, we all went for a walk at the city power site. When we went back home and we watched this movie called The Desert or something like that, which was not a movie I should be watching back in 5th grade. But the one thing I do remember about the movie, it started in the desert and it ended on the desert. I guess that's why it's called The Desert. Day 4 is another typical day in the house. Except for the fact that police kept calling my mother because I wasn't going to school and didn't give an explanation why. The police were also threatening my mother that they would take her to court if she didn't explain why I wasn't going to school for a week. The police even showed up to our house back in Kansas. Day 5. We went out and got some bread, and my dad was hearing only bad news from the mechanic. So let's just skip to day 6. Day 6! My dad was getting desperate, so he started looking for other ways to get home. Eventually, he finds a bus that was taking people to Kansas, so he buys a ticket, but not one for him. Because we can't just leave the car in Oklahoma. Day 7. Today was the last day we were going to be in Oklahoma, and I was glad it was over. When we leave, I just started playing piano tiles or something like that on the bus because it was 2019, those were the popular games. The next day at school, I showed the bus tickets as proof that we were stuck in Oklahoma, so my mom didn't have to go to court. But in the end, I'm just glad I got home safely and didn't get stuck in Oklahoma for another week, because that would have been terrible.